All right. Here we go. So today's studio was really kind of more of the same of the walkthrough, right? Just a little bit more reinforcement of those concepts. Hopefully nothing too crazy going on there. We added a couple more classes. So earlier somebody asked if we could have multiple classes inherit from the same superclass. The answer is yeah, absolutely. We sure can. So we're going to make link posts and image posts. And we're just going to follow the design that's been given to us. So which one are we doing? We're doing image post first. All right, that's what it says. So we'll go ahead and set up our image post. And we can tell from the diagram that image post is going to inherit from our post class, correct? So we need to make sure that that's reflected in our implementation with that inheritance. The methods, very simple. We just have one, just a constructor. That's it. That's all there is. And the only reason we need that is because we have an extra field. That's the only reason that we even need this constructor here. So this is a pretty straightforward class. We'll go ahead and create that constructor. And it specifies what the fields should be. I've got self, title, author, and file name. Okay. Self, title, author, and file name. All right. So what am I going to do inside this constructor? What do I need to do first? I'm sorry, I can't. Get the stuff from post. So, I mean, we can even probably just take a look at this, right? Oh, they used none. How dare they? They did. How dare they? Boo. Boo. I don't agree with that. That's okay. Is that indented correctly? Yeah, okay. I'm going to switch it to that. And I'm going to switch it up here too. And you can't stop me. All right. So we've done that, and then what do we have left? Just the file name, that's it. We're done. This class is done. This class was very straightforward, very simple. The design of this class does not have a whole lot going on. I guess I was supposed to include an underscore and file name. Whoops, oh well. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. That should be fine. All right. So one more class to go. This other one does require a little bit more work, the link post. So we'll go ahead and set this up. And like the others, we can tell from the diagram that we're still utilizing this inheritance from the post class. So we'll go ahead and, oops, whoa, hey, set that up.
Because they just don't know. Because they wanted the same thing as the video.
You use the video post? You inherited from the video post?
Yes. Because see, look, the self-title author URL.
Okay. But a link post, does that have a plays attribute? Plays? I mean, should that have a plays field? What does it mean to play a link? I don't know what that means. So I think I understand what you did, right? I understand what you were going for. There are a couple of reasons why I think maybe we should stick to the script. You know. Yeah, sure. It's certainly worth thinking about, though, right? I mean, and two, I think it's worth mentioning that just because somebody gives you a design and says, "Here, do this," does not necessarily mean that this design is set in stone. I think you'll find oftentimes that, you know, the first time you go through a design, you miss some stuff, or you did it a little bit wrong. And as you're coding it up, you're like, well, actually, that wasn't a great idea. And so, you know, designs are flexible. And so it's worth thinking about those things as you complete your implementation. All right, so we're going to implement from post, and then it wants us to do a constructor, again, because we have a couple of extra fields down here, clicks and a URL. So we'll go ahead and set up our constructor. Self, title, author, and URL. All right, and so, we've gotten used to this by now. I got to call the post constructor. Got to call that. Is that right? That looks okay. And then I'm left with two variables, two fields, the URL and the clicks. And so you can tell that the URL comes from here, and the click, is going to be some constant value, probably 0. So we'll set the URL. Or set our clicks equal to 0. And that takes care of our constructor. So now all we're left with is the click method and the string method. The click method is going to work, very similarly to the plays and the likes method that we've seen. Now here's actually a good situation that somebody asked me about during today's studio. Somebody named their field click, which is also the name of the method. It does not like that, right? It's ambiguous. If I now refer to a click, it doesn't know if I'm talking about the method or if I'm talking about the variable. And computers do not like ambiguity. Computers want things to be very clear, very explicit all the time. So I've made this mistake tons of times, and I will probably make it again at some point. But just something to keep in mind. Make sure that you've got you don't have any conflicting names for your fields and your methods. So we'll increment that guy by 1, and then I believe the last thing that we need to do is the string. And you can see actually the string that they made for the video post is like, okay, they didn't include all the other stuff, which is fine, actually. Notice that that's something that the design does not tell us, right? The design does not specify whether I should include or what fields should be included as part of the string. It does not say. The instructions do give you a little insight though, right? So this looks to me like it's the title, and then this is the URL. It looks like those are the only two values that they are specifically requesting for the studio, if I'm understanding this properly. So that makes our life a little bit easier. We just need to do the title and the URL. So is there like a colon in between or something? Yeah, there's a colon in between. Okay. Colon space self dot URL. Oh, I do. I skipped a plus. Thank you. And I think we're ready to try it out. We've got some test cases down here that create some instances of all of the classes, including the ones from the walkthrough today, calls a few methods on them, and then prints them out. And so we're hoping that everything's going to look fine and dandy. Let's take a peek and see what happens. There we go. I believe that matches up. The order's a little different, but I don't care. That's fine. That's not a big deal. One question. We did not implement the string method on our image post, right? And yet, if I scroll down and I look at, printing out the picture posts, I still get, something that looks reasonable. Where did this come from? Came from, what do we mean by the original? Came from the superclass. If I don't implement it, It's just going to go to the superclass and see if there's something that it can use there. And there is. There is something that it can use there. It just includes what the title and the author. Yeah. And so that's what we end up seeing. If that's okay with me, then cool. That's one less thing that we have to do. If that's not okay with me, then I am free to create my own string method in that class and make it look the way that I want to look. That's the nice thing about inheritance. I can kind of pick and choose the things that I want a little bit. That was tonight's studio. Are there any questions? All right. You guys have earned a week off, in my opinion, so I'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Try not to get sunburned out there.